Shall we start? Because majority of people were there last week on this topic on foods of what to eat and what not to eat. But the broad objective of this exercise is to just make ourselves aware of the fact that everything that we eat and drink today is pretty much infested with tons of pesticides. So that's what the whole thing is that we need to be very, very careful about. I'll quickly walk you through all the elements that we eat on a regular basis, which are constantly harming us. And if any one of us falls sick, ever falls sick, once in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, then there is definitely some deficiency in the immunity. And for people that I've known who've never ever fallen sick over the last 10 years, sorry, should I continue? Yeah, okay. So basically, the agenda is that we should never, ever, ever fall sick. It's as simple as that. If you have got decent immunity, I personally know over I personally know over at least 10 people who have never ever fallen sick in the last 10 years. There could be stress and a little bit of sleepless nights, but there is no reason to ever fall sick. Only when there's a changing season, you get some kind of a cough and a cold. But that itself is a very temporary phenomena. It comes and it goes. So let's talk about the food that we eat, and I'll keep this interactive. So please do ask me questions if you have. I like to keep it interactive. Yeah, so I'm proceeding. Okay, let's start off with the fruits and the vegetables. Every single thing that you see in the market today is infested with fruits with pesticides. So if you see these high gloss fruits, none of them are naturally glossy. If you see those apples, can you see the mouse? Anyone can just say that? Yeah. So you can unmute and say yes or no so that we know that we're all together. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these are all basically a lot of these apples that you get in hotels, they're all waxed. There is some a level of wax that people put on these apples to make them glossy. And wax is basically poison. You're not supposed to eat that. So as far as fruits and vegetables are concerned, the nature doesn't give them in this high form. These are all artificially enhanced just to make it more appealing. And the kind of pesticides that they contain include arsenic and ethylene oxide along with lindane. And all of them are the cause of all kinds of problems. You can all unmute. I just want a question before we proceed. If you can all unmute, does anyone have a member who's in the family who's cancerous? Family or a friend? Or a friend? Someone personally known? Yeah. So everyone practically knows someone who's got a cancer in some form or the other, either a family or a friend. And that is all happening because of multiple reasons. And one of the reasons is obviously the fact that we are constantly consuming pesticides and chemicals which are embedded with the fruits that we eat. So that's what it is. So that's the chemicals that come in with all of this. If you look at धनिया, आप लोग मार्केट से धनिया लेते हो, धनिया भी बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. जो धनिया नेचुरल फॉर्म में होता है इतना ज्यादा क्रिस्प. इफ यू लुक एट द लेफ्ट साइड, coriander, this is basically not natural. This is being dipped in chemicals to give it a crisp feel. And they include copper sulfate, rhodamine oxide, malachite green. These are all additional chemicals to enhance the look of the dhania, which is not a healthy thing to do, right? So this is what you guys need to be very, very careful of. The dhania itself is pretty poisonous. So you'll have to have food in its natural form and not enhanced. When it gets enhanced, it actually adds chemicals. So अगर मेरे को choice मिलेगी, if I'm looking at धनिया, जो मरा हुआ सा होता है ना, जो सस्ते वाला होता है, एक वो होता है, और एक होता है बिल्कुल चमक रहा है, which is high gloss, I would go for the matte one, the not so glamorous dhania. And this is why it's happening. So again, just to recap for a couple of more people who joined, the cause of disease is not one, it is multifold. It's everything that you eat and drink, right? It's all infested with chemicals all over the world. I mean, there are very few populations left, very few islands left where people grow genuinely organic stuff and eat organic stuff. But otherwise, everything seems to be infesticide with tons of chemicals and pesticides. What is the solution? Obviously, one solution is to grow your own organic farm. If you got land, then you should grow your own vegetables, your own fruits, whatever you can. But ये इतना relevant नहीं है for people staying in Delhi and metro in Bombay in metros because there is huge dearth of space. What you can do before you eat your vegetables or fruits, you need to wash it with hot water and dip it in salt and vinegar. So what the salt and vinegar basically does, it takes away a major chunk of the pesticides. It can't take away 100%, but at least 70-80% साफ हो जाता है. And for anyone in any part of the world, there is something called a ionizer. If you want to note that down, it's called an ionizer, Ionizer. Ionizer, what it does is it cleanses the vegetable. So all you need to do it, I put it on the group, you put your vegetables in a glass basket and just dip the ionizer. It's got a tube and that starts washing off all the chemicals, right? So it is so important. It takes about 15 minutes to ionize the fruits and vegetables and get rid of the pesticides, almost to 80-90% of what is on the skin. So something like an orange, you don't need to do it because you peel off the orange, but something that you eat with the peel, like an apple, you have to wash it off so that you stop the constant barrage of poisonous pesticides going in your body. Any questions on an ionizer, anyone?
So, I'm sorry. What is ionizer basically? Is it like a water-based something?
Yeah. So it is basically just a device. If you Google it, you can buy any brand of an ionizer. It is not water-based, it's air-based. So it releases oxygen from a tube. So what you do is you dip your vegetables in a glass bowl and you insert the tube in the bowl. So it releases oxygen and that dissolves a major chunk of the pesticides and they evaporate and you can actually smell them coming out.
So you dip the fruits in a glass bowl and then dip the ionizer, is it?
Yeah. You dip the fruits in a glass bowl full of water.
I see. Okay, thank you.
And then you have a pipe, which is the ionizer pipe, and you just put it inside so it starts washing them away.
Okay, thank you.
It's not difficult. I mean, it's worth it. If you were to visit a hospital and see how people are suffering with all kinds of ailments, I think it's worth it. It's a 15-minute process. And not only for fruits and vegetables, you can do it for your dals also. So if you have, I put it on the group, if I don't know if many have seen it, but there's huge amount of froth that comes out. So when you dip a dal or a chawal and you ionize it, you will see literally lots and lots of froth coming out, which is basically the pesticides in the dals and all. So I think the key takeaway is to wash your fruits and vegetables as on a regular basis. Now, this is again very important. If you see bananas in the market, you will see two sets of bananas in this one. Now, if you go to the ones on the left, which are the red ones, are the unhealthy ones. These are the yellow bananas, which look really bright and clean. They're actually artificially ripened. They use calcium carbide to 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 ripen it. So I think there's some audio coming. If someone could mute. Rupali or Shalini, I think one of your phones need to go on mute because there's a little bit of noise. Yeah. So,
Got it.
yeah, so it is these bananas, and if you look at the bananas on the right hand side, which have these black spots, these are mostly the ones which have naturally ripened. So never eat bananas. Bananas is just one example where they need to be ripened. So if I remember last in the US at least, I saw a lot major chunk is this one, artificially done. Hotels in India, it's all artificially done, and these are all harmful bananas. So fruits and vegetables, they do not look as appealing as they're presented on shelves and stores. So you need to buy organic stuff. And one great way of recognizing good fruits and vegetables is you will see dark spots, you would see insects. If there are no insects, it is not organic. It is obviously, if it's only pesticides. And if an insect does not eat a fruit, then obviously it's got chemicals, and why would you? So that's one way of doing it. So you'll have to identify some kind of a store near you. This is the apples that we talk about, wax and no wax. So you can see the clear difference on the right and left. Anything that is glossy and bright is bad. So that's the difference for an apple, and the same thing for all kinds of fruit, right? They use something called a carnauba wax, which is literally poison. And just to recap, diseases are not a function of one bad input. It's a constant function of multiple things: fake milk, nakli pani, vegetables, fruits, lentils, grains, because constantly everything that we are eating in our systems is infested with chemicals, and that's the root cause of problems. And as they say, the human body can fight chemicals for a finite period of time. They'll fight chemicals for a year, 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, but one day the body gives in. So that's what it is. So wash them in hot water, and in this case, if the peel is loaded with wax, the best thing to do is to peel it off before you eat. Last week, someone had asked that what about the chemicals that are embedded inside the fruit? जो fruit के चला गया है उसका कुछ नहीं कर सकते. If the soil is bad, then you'll have to figure out your produce from areas where the soil is not as bad. But as far as the external bit is concerned, that can be easily pulled off. Milk. Can we talk about milk? So anyone of you drinks milk? Okay, so milk. But anyway, you do ghee and all of a lot of milk products. But if you look at milk today, there are not enough cows in the world compared to the milk produced in India alone, right? So 90% of the milk that is sold, at least in India, I know for a fact, is all fake, and it's all chalk urea, detergents, ammonium sulfate, all kinds of chemicals are added to create something that looks like milk. There is nothing called real milk in the market unless you actually source it from a farm where you see it with your own visible eyes of it being sourced out of a cow or some source of a milk. And this is not about the unorganized sector. The fact is, even the organized sector, the entire organized sector, all big brands have some kind of an association to get approvals to sell non-real milk. That's exactly what is being sold. So it's a fact. This all appeared in the newspaper. 79% of milk tested was found adulterated. We've done some research surveys in the company that I run. In my view, almost 90% of the branded milk itself is all fake. It is not milk. Only 10% of it is milk. The rest is chemicals. So please stop drinking the milk if you're drinking milk, unless you have a genuine source of milk with a cow which is well bred and organic. Otherwise, ये सारा नकली है. It's got hydrogen peroxide, all kinds of sugars, melamine. It won't have the natural smell of milk. बचपन में दूध पीते थे, दूध में एक महक आती है. Milk has a certain smell. It used to have it. Now the packet milk has no smell. It tastes perfect. Everything is right about it because it's all fake. Sorry.
Pankaj, one question, real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is there a way to differentiate between
Real.
real milk and fake milk?
So in India, there are multiple labs. You just have to Google a near lab near you, and they can do a test and tell you the composition of that milk.
I see.
There is no device that you can do in-house. But the other way to look at is go back to your childhood days when you have used to have milk. There was a certain smell to it, right?
Yeah, which I hate.
Correct. Correct. That's right. I also hate that smell. But that is real milk.
Okay.
So if that smell is not there, so the milk is not real.
So go ahead, Lata.
So I was asking, in not just milk, even any milk products in India, they used to have some kind of a smell. Here, even the butter, it does not smell. Like I can take it. In India, I could never have any milk product, but in US, I could eat butter. Not milk yet, but yeah, there is no smell in the butter also.
That's right. So that you've answered your question. There is a gap. So read the ingredients, read the preservatives that are used in it. It's not real. So what we do in India is I luckily have a farm, so we've got our own cows. We source our own milk and we make our own butter. And it has no smell because the butter it's white butter and we add a little bit of salt. It's very tasty. And if I was to eat outside ka butter, I might after 2 3 days start feeling heavy. So Lata, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but read the ingredients, and if there is something that is flooded with preservatives and chemicals, you have to stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you.
But there will be farms near you where you can source real milk. And if you find some kind of a farm to source real milk where you know it is being extracted from a cow, then please go ahead with it if you like it. But
Thank you.
as they say, milk, once you're a grown up adult, you really don't need milk in its raw form. You can have some ghee with your parathas and sabji and all. So that is a good thing. As far as ghee is concerned, again, so I don't want to name any brands since in my media company, we work with a lot of these brands and it's not the right thing to isolate any one brand. But ghee in India, anyone wants to say how much do you buy ghee for? You buy ghee from the market, Lavleen ji? Anyone? You buy ghee in the US, Sujit?
No, we make our own ghee. We buy butter and
Okay.
then
Unsalted butter.
unsalted butter, and then we make our own ghee.
Right. Okay,
But
got
it's
it.
the same thing
So,
what Lata is saying about the smell and the taste is different.
yeah.
And I'm talking about I'm gonna say it loud. I mean, we buy it from Costco, which is like one of the biggest sourcing for all the.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So ghee in India sells for about, in my experience, the cost of making ghee. I think we need to, Lavleen ji, you need to mute. How do I mute here? Can I mute? How do you mute?
We meeting.
Lavleen ji, you might want to mute. A little noise. So if you look at ghee, in our experience, it takes almost 20 liters of raw milk to churn out 1 kilo of ghee. And the 20 liters of raw milk that we get comes to almost at 125 rupees. The cost of raw material is 2,500. So the cost of raw material for 1 kilo of ghee is almost 2,500 plus obviously the process and all. But in India, you get ghee for as less as 1,000 rupees. All branded ghee is 1,000 rupees. In fact, a lot of ghees with the big brands, which is mentioned in this one, sells for 800 rupees. And there are other brands which sell for 700 rupees as well. So there is no rocket science in this, but I think you need to understand if the raw material is 2,500, how can the final product be 800 bucks? So that is not ghee. I know for a fact that you get these tablets which smell like ghee and you can adulterate it in any chemical and it gives the flavor of ghee. So all the ghee is adulterated in the market. So please make your own ghee. And the bigger the brand, the more the corruption. Because almost 50% of that money goes towards marketing and advertising. So if someone is selling you ghee for 800 rupees, usme se let's assume 400 goes towards marketing and advertising. So you're left with 400 bucks. And then you got distribution expenses, which is another 100 rupees. So 300 rupees ka de raha hai. His net cost of product is not more than 200 bucks if he's selling it for 800 bucks. Something that costs 2,500, you're buying for raw for 200 bucks. So that's completely fake. And that's another cause of a problem. So do not fall into big brands with low cost ghees.
So,
Chinese sugar, yeah,
Pankaj, मैं ना आपको I'm going to read the ingredients right of what Sujit was just saying. Is pasteurized cream and natural flavorings, contains milk. That's the only ingredient on the package of that unsalted butter that we were talking about.
yeah. So you'll have to research on natural flavorings, what that means. So that could be some level of elements which are not really right.
Hmm.
Milk always has an odor to it. If it's no odor, it can't be
The
milk. There
butter.
is
This is
something
the
wrong.
unsalted butter that we were talking about, that we make ghee out
Fair
of.
enough. If you're sure about the brand, if it's clean, if it's you do some research, if you think the price matches in terms of what the actual product should be, and it's got no preservatives, then it's fine.
Yeah, it says only pasteurized cream on it. That's it.
What is the
And
shelf life?
a shelf life, I don't know, but we usually put it in fridge or freezer, right? So
Yeah,
it lasts longer.
yeah.
Unsalted butter है ना? So it is in the fridge section.
Which is fine. So, which is fine. As long as to preserve it, you need to keep it in a fridge. It's fine. So just do your research, how long it lasts for a couple of days and a couple of weeks, then it's fine. But if something that goes on for months and months is obviously artificial. And see the ingredients, and as long as there are minimal preservatives, then it's fine to go with. So same
Thank you.
thing for ghee, butter, everything. Please make sure you make your own ghee butter, and that's more effective. Those who eat meat understand again the same problem. Adulteration of meat involves substitution of meat with inferior meat, and which basically means, you have a very radish appearance. They add odors to it to make it more crisp and all. I know for a fact there was a video of someone who had burger sealed for 20 years and still it hasn't rot. 20 years. There's a burger with a patty inside it and it's wrapped up in a cupboard and she takes it out every year. You can Google that lady and she says it's been over 20 years. The bloody burger is not rot. Right. So that's a very that proves the fact that is it really a meat inside it or is it something else which doesn't rot, because anything that is edible will start rotting in a span of a couple of hours or a couple of days. So same thing with meats, make sure it's thoroughly washed up. This is very important, guys. Pulses and grains. I put the videos on the group, but please wash your pulses and grains before you cook them. And 90% of the pesticides, they are applied as sprays. So that's what I'm saying. So whatever is inside the thing cannot be removed. Whatever is outside can and should be removed. And that's almost 90% is outside sprays to avoid insects and all. इसमें एक चीज और है, तरीका है. All of those who cook, I also cook at times. The pressure cooker has become a problem because pressure cooker में chemicals अंदर रह जाते हैं. पहले when they used to cook in an open bowl, open vessel, and धीरे धीरे your mother would remove the jhag that would come on top. Jhag is the froth, and that froth is the pesticides. Right? So anything that you cook, please cook it in an open vessel and let it dheere dheere boil. Add some extra water, and if you can see on the right hand side the froth being removed, you have to remove the froth. Every time you cook, be it anything, you have to put some extra water and keep removing the froth. And gradually, once you do that for about a week, 10 days, believe you me, after 10 days of froth-free food, one day when you eat outside, you'll start feeling heavy because you'll realize that you're eating poison. It becomes so light without the...
But Pankaj, my thing is that, this froth comes only in the yellow dal. Why it doesn't come in the green?
सबका अलग होता है, थोड़ा chemical composition भी होता है, and these yellow dals which are used for sambar, I don't know what it's called, urad dal or something, उसमें that is most prone to a very short shelf life, so it has higher amount of preservatives stored in it. When you even use an ionizer, the yellow dal of sambar has huge amounts of froth, whereas the black dal will have less. So होगा सब में, किसमें कम होगा किसमें ज्यादा होगा. Even in cooking also, like you rightly said, नीरू, उसमें ज्यादा निकलता है. लेकिन जितना भी है उसको निकालो. ये देखो, ये right bottom right में कम है. This is like a मोट वाला दाल, but it needs to be removed. Remove every single froth that you get in it. This is all pure pesticide. And after you eat it without the froth for one day, try it today. When you cook your food, ऊपर से झाग निकालो, थोड़ा और पानी डालो. ऊपर से झाग निकालते जाओ, and froth free. When you eat that food, you will feel so light. In one day, you will start feeling the difference. In 1 week of fruit-free, pesticide-free food, your body will become so potent that every time you eat outside, you will realize, yes, this aapne kiya.
Correct.
Okay? So please do that. This is very, very important. This could be a life savior. This is a game changer because we eat grains every day. Dal hum daily khate hain, chawal hum daily khate hain, and the quantum of pesticides being ingested is on the right. So when you remove the froth today, you will get an idea कि हम daily कितना खा रहे थे कचरा, है ना. तो जैसे जैसे बंद हो जाएगा, it will make a huge difference. And इसके जो benefits हैं, obviously long term, the objective of doing all of this is to save yourself from this menace of chronic diseases. लेकिन इसका एक और फायदा है आपको, you will start feeling younger and energetic. You'll start feeling stronger. You'll feel brighter. You'll see a glow on your face once you align with nature. And that's you will. Yes.
Hi, this is Rupali. Hi, this is Rupali. I have a question. Can we, I mentioned, right, I'm planning to come in March. So can I get it back to the US and use it here, or voltage ka koi problem hai?
No. You get tons of them. In India, they're very cheap. They're like 4,000 rupees, like $70-80. You can carry them with you. I don't know, it's a 110 or a 220. But check on Amazon, order it in the US.
I can't get anything. No, I can't get anything from the US, what you're talking about. I've tried looking for it.
Okay, so I will hunt for some and put some links on the group if I can find something, some ionizer.
Okay. Okay.
Actually in India also, if we check on Amazon, there are hardly any brands. Only Kent is there, or one more is there, local types. They are not much available. And Kent also, like, they are not selling it much. So I don't know why it's such a good thing and it has not actually picked up in India.
I think awareness.
Awareness is a problem because people might not. Yeah, absolutely. One is awareness, and it's a low cost product. So उसमें ज़्यादा वो नहीं होगा revenue. It's a non-commercial.
Also, another question, Pankaj, can one eat millets like kind of every day or every second day? Matlab, if we just eliminate rice, let's say, but millets of different kind of millets, is that okay? Because I've been making these dosas kind of every second day for the kids in the family, and they're all loving it with urad dal and all that. So is that okay to have millets every day? Is that healthy enough?
Millets are very good for you. Millets, the reason why millets got discarded over the last 30, 40 years was millets take a lot of water, and the area needed to grow millets, the field area is obviously much higher, whereas the non-millet stuff, which is the rice and dals, grow in a much shorter area. So it was commercialization which took the millets away from us. Millets are fantastic. You should have millets as much and as often as you can. They will be slightly on the heavier side. So allow the body to tell you. If your body is enjoying them, like you said, the dosas people are loving, please have them. And when the body starts rejecting it, is when you go against it. So you have to allow. What Ayurveda says कि आपका शरीर आपको खुद गाइड करेगा, आपकी जबान आपको गाइड करेगी क्या अच्छा है क्या बुरा है. So follow your taste buds, but millets are very good. Detoxify them, deoxidize them, and then remove the pesticides if at all. And please have millets. They're very, very good for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Very
you.
good for you. Very good.
Okay, okay, perfect. Thanks.
Pankaj, one question. Sorry. One question.
Yeah.
Pankaj, so millets also must have pesticide, right? So we don't cook them, we directly soak and grind them. So how do we remove pesticide? Is it
Millets के case में you will find a lot of millets in the market which are completely organic because still the awareness levels are low. People are less into millets. तो आपको मिल जाएगा. You don't have to worry on that front.
I see, okay.
You will find a lot of organic millets in the market. A lot of people who are producing millets are people like you and I who've understood about a lot of things and moving on to a healthy life. In India, you get tons of millets people who are doing it and they're doing it in their own farms and there is no pesticides on that one.
Another thing I've heard about millets, and I'm not sure if this is true, Pankaj, maybe you can say, that in millets, there are minimal pesticides or no pesticides क्योंकि उसको कीड़े नहीं लगते हैं. ग्रेन्स को कीड़े लगते हैं बट मिलेट्स को नहीं लगते हैं तो उन लोग नहीं उसके वो फॉर दैट हार्वेस्ट दे डोंट स्प्रेड इंसेक्टिसाइड्स और पेस्टिसाइड्स राइट.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I say कि जो millets होता है उसको मोटा अनाज बोलते हैं, भारी अनाज बोलते हैं. वो डाइजेशन में थोड़ा हैवी रहता है इसलिए वहाँ कीड़े कम जाएंगे. और जो अपने गेहूं हैं और दाल हैं वो हल्की होती हैं, वो ज़्यादा कीड़े लगते हैं. तो इसमें ऑलमोस्ट द पेस्टिसाइड मात्रा ज़्यादा है. तो हम जो सब्जियां उगाते हैं इन आवर फार्म, ऑलमोस्ट 40% ऑफ द प्रोड्यूस गेट्स ईटन बाय इंसेक्ट्स. 40%. 60% फॉर ह्यूमंस. सो दिस इज द रूल ऑफ नेचर. आप कुछ भी उगाओगे तो मिल बांट के खाओगे. 40 उनका 60 हमारा. हम इंसान इतने बेवकूफ हैं कि हमने उसमें इतने इतने जहर डाल दिया कि जानवर ही नहीं खाता, वो हम खाते हैं.
हाँ.
So millets is, you are right, absolutely right. Millets is a मोटा अनाज, उसमें कीड़ा कम लगता है. और millets US में भी कोई उगा रहा होगा तो hopefully बिना pesticides के उगा रहा होगा because the volume is very low.
Right.
And whenever the volume grows, whenever there is competition, when there is huge demand, then you will see commercialization take over. So millets, please go ahead with millets. It's a very good thing as long as the body can digest it. If you start feeling it's heavy, then obviously you'll have to cut down the intake.
Thank you.
Okay, very nice. Breads. Every bread. Now, again, this sounds very pessimistic, but the fact is everything that we are eating, drinking and breathing is poison. There is a solution to it. A bread, आप कोई भी commercial bread है, I don't know about the US, but in India, every single branded bread has potassium bromate or potassium iodate as a preservative. Okay, now potassium bromate is a clear cancer-causing agent, but it's a fantastic preservative. So the Indian rules are not so strong. That's why they allow it. But potassium bromate should not be consumed. It is not fit for human consumption. So do not eat any form of packaged bread. कोई भी brand है, सब नकली हैं. The only way, next question is, फिर खाएं क्या? Then where do we eat the bread? So we've got a bakery near our house, and we get our fresh bread from there. You always have a bakery somewhere near your house, or somewhere there'll be a bakery. You know, you'll have to buy that bread from there. Sorry, Sujit, you're saying something.
Nee. I said, yeah, definitely. We have bakeries around.
So buy your bread from a bakery and just check with him that इसमें preservative तो नहीं डाला, because if it's a fresh bread from a bakery, it'll start rotting in a day or two.
Acha.
If it doesn't rot in a day or two, इसका मतलब उसमें दुनिया भर का preservative डाला हुआ है. Even आटा जो आता है, packet branded आटा आता है, which is endorsed by the biggest brands, they have huge amounts of preservatives stored. पहले क्या करते थे, हम लोग चक्की में जाते थे, आटा पिसवाते थे और 4-5 दिन का करके खा जाते थे. चक्की से पहले क्या करते थे, हम डेली आटा पीसते थे घर पे. We used to piece our own atta and eat every day, right? And that atta would last only for a day or two. Pure organic. उसके बाद वो सड़ जाता था, कीड़े लग जाते थे. So you'll have to get back to that non-preservative atta, which you will get out of fresh stuff. So we get our own grains from, we get our gehu and we go to a chakki and get it done. So I'll urge all of you to do that as well. So no breads from a packet. All breads have to be freshly sourced from some kind of a bakery who does not do preservatives. So we are done with breads. We are done with fruits and vegetables. We are done with anaj. We are done with meats. So that's pretty much everything that you eat. So if you clean everything, yeah.
What's the solution for wheat flour then?
You have to get your own gehu. I mean, I source my gehu, which is organic, from some guys who do it, and then we go to a mill and we get it grinded ourselves.
Okay, that's
The
something.
branded ones. Sorry, Lata, you're saying something.
I think getting own gehu, grinding is not possible in US. So we should switch to some millet flour and make roti. That could be the option.
Source millet flours and do some research. I'm sure there must be organically created atta also. कोई ना कोई तो होगा brand. छोटा brand होगा.
All the atta which is available in US comes from India. It's and that's a packet atta, like the branded ones.
So check the ingredients and see the preservative thing if there is one. But again, if it's coming from India, then we're hugely on preservatives because of transportation and stocking and storage and all.
No, Pankaj, Pankaj, in the US, you do get non-GMO attas and you get organic attas, and it's written the ingredients, organic whole wheat atta, but distributed from India. So basically, and they are very strict here. You know how it works in the US, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
So they can,
no, Rupali. So they are strict in US, but all the food, all the packaged food that is coming from India, and I live in New Jersey, right? It's not FDA.
It's not FDA approved. Are you saying that?
Yeah.
But if it's not FDA approved, how much deep can you go? The maximum as Indians living here, right? As we living here, the maximum we can do is go with organic fruits, vegetables, atta, things like that, and non-GMO. That's the maximum we can do.
Exactly.
Right? We can't say FDA approved, not approved. If we do this, we are frankly out of 100%, we are in that 10% probably who are eating like that. You know how Americans eat, right? They are, I don't know, it's just sad the way they eat. So whatever, we are getting the non-GMO stuff, organic atta, I think we need to just go with that because that's the best bet we have here.
Yeah, as you said, that's the best bet, but I don't completely trust, what's on there.
But then, it's something, what you're saying is right, but we can't trust in India also. People living in India, right? Middle class, how many people can afford things there also, right? More than middle class, actually, you can say that. So it's just your luck. It's just do whatever best you think you can.
Yeah, if you have the means, to source organic stuff, please go ahead. But obviously that people need to eat. And if you don't have the means to do it, there's not much you can do. But there is one more important thing that comes here is once you've crossed the age of 30, which I believe all of us have, you really don't need to have 3 meals a day. So your grains should be limited to only for one meal, right? So if you're having maybe lunch, you have roti and all, and dinner is basically rasam or soup or wherever whatever your native food is, and breakfast could be vegetables and juices. So you'll have to cut down on the intake of grains anyway. एंड इन आयुर्वेद में बोलते हैं ना, जो एक बारी खाता है वो योगी होता है, दो बारी होता है भोगी, और तीन बारी खाने वाला हमेशा रोगी रहता है. People who eat 3 times are always sick all the time, right? So you can't become a rogi, but at least try to graduate to become a yogi by eating less of the grains. So intake of grains is fine. I have my own experience where I used to eat 3-4 meals a day. And then when I cut down to one meal a day, I did not lose 1 single gram of body weight. What did that mean? So if you were eating 3 meals, you are at 85 kilos, and then you cut down to one meal, you're still at 85 kilos. That basically means that you're overfeeding yourself and the body was constantly eating and pumping out. And when you stopped eating, still there was no weight loss. That meant that you're obviously overeating. So you'll have to cut down on your food intake to ideally one meal a day. And it's a little difficult, but if you do one meal a day, it will see tremendous benefits to the body. The logic is very simple. There is something called an autophagy. The body eats, and once the body eats, it starts processing to throw it out, which is the excretion process that happens in the morning. 90% of the people I have met and I work with, they have a problem in going to the loo. कोई constipation है, IBS है, everyone has that problem, 90% people. And why is that problem? Is not because of good, bad food, because of overeating. The body is not able to process it. And if you eat lunch today and eat nothing all day long, and maybe have a soup in the evening or have some juices and fruits, you will see next morning you will feel 100% evacuation. Why? Because everything is in that's lying in the body. The body tends to process it and throw it out. And once the body throws it out, is when you start feeling good. Again, Ayurved, पेट साफ तो हर बीमारी माफ. The same logic holds for this as well. So please try and reduce your meals. ये lunch, breakfast और dinner was not made by God. It was a man created thing. सुबह हो गया तो खा लो, फिर ब्रंच कर लो, फिर लंच कर लो, फिर शाम को कुछ खा लो, फिर रात को कुछ खा लो. So if you can avoid breakfast, lunch and dinner and convert that into something which is bound by hunger, not by time. जब भूख लगे तो खाओ. ये नहीं कि दोपहर के 2 बज गए तो लंच टाइम हो गया. तो you'll have to stop eating as per timetable. You'll have to start eating as per requirement. Yes, Sujit.
So the 3 times meal also was meant for those people who, do physical work every day. Or like a 30 years back or 40 years back, the kind of work everyone used to do was a physical, like labor kind of a work, right? So yeah, those people will feel hungry, and those will need strength also. Like after you come back in the evening, even though you have a full meal in the afternoon, you will be hungry in the night. So
Yes.
for them, it was required probably, but for today, where everything you sit and do, probably that food is too much for the
Correct.
body.
Absolutely. So you've answered the question. High physical labor. If you are hungry, you are eating. If you're not hungry, you won't. Even a physical laborer, once he's had his 4, 5, 6, 7 rotis, he will stop eating. पेट भर गया. You eat one roti, he eats 7 rotis, right? So it depends on the hunger. Agar if the body is asking for you, when there is digestive fire, it'll burn it. And if you are eating without appetite, it is causing ailments. एक चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, लता आपने पॉइंट भी रेज किया है. एक चीज और है, ध्यान रखो, खाना जब भी खाओ, एक तो भूख लगे, दूसरा विच इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट, कहते हैं जब मुंह में पानी आए, व्हेन यू सैलिवेट, and eat what you salivate for. You're eating for something spicy, the body will like it. You're craving for something sweet, not refined sugar, it could be made out of good or brown sugar or whatever. And if you're salivating for that halwa, have it. You will feel good, it will work on you. Right? So you have to listen to the body. Eat only when hungry. In an ideal case scenario, after you've crossed the age of 30 and you're not a physical laborer, you will not be needing to eat more than once in a day. And the rest of the time, you can have your fruits. अभी भूख लग रहा है, एप्पल खा लिया, ऑरेंज खा लिया, जूस पी लिया, शाम को वेजिटेबल सूप बना लिया. A friend of mine, I was telling, soups are not bad. It is not, as long as they're clean. You understand? You get vegetables, chop them, put them in. You like garlic, put a hint of garlic, put some olive oil on top. If you like ghee, add it. But have those soups. Soups take 15 minutes to digest. They go inside and they come out as is. They cleanse the process. That's what the whole thing is about, right? So eat less, eat only when hungry. Same thing with refined oils. All refined oils are causes of tons of problem. In the US, I know you get all kinds of oils, but you will have to limit your intake into three broad categories: groundnut oil, sesame seed oil, and tilka tel and mustard oil. These are the three oils, and they are supposed to be cold pressed. You can source them all over the world. You get good brands of cold pressed oils, which is sesame oil, groundnut oil, and mustard oil. And then in South, you get good coconut oils and all. Wo bhi karo, ghee bhi use karo. But refined oils, complete no. I don't need to elaborate. Do your own research.
In India, it is called kachi ghani ka tel.
Correct. Kachi ghani ka tel. Refined oil. Absolutely. That's what you should do.
Sunflower seed oil. Sunflower seed oil? No.
Yeah, there are no sunflowers in the world as compared to the quantum of oils you get in the US alone.
Yeah.
It's all fake. It's all fake. 100% fake. Yeah, you don't get that kind of sunflower oil. These are all man-made.
नहीं, इंडियन स्टोर से लेते हैं हम.
I'm sorry?
Indian store से. That is also fake?
Yeah, it's all fake. All kinds of stuff you get which are not right. Mr. Gupta, RC Gupta, you can put off your camera. That's okay. We don't. You see, it seems to be a geezer and all. Gupta, you can put off your camera. Okay, so let's continue. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So three kinds of oils which are good for you. Oils are not bad. It is the kind of oil. So you don't have refined oils. And again, the same thing I repeat for all of you. Try cooking in the three oils which are cold pressed oils, kachi ghani, cold pressed oils, sesame oil, groundnut oil, and mustard oil. In तीनों का आप use करो. एक time में एक ही oil use करो. Don't mix them. And once you do that for a week or two, you will start feeling a change. Tell me, Shobha.
So peanut oil cholesterol नहीं ये करता है? Does it?
It's all analysis paralysis, modern science. कुछ नहीं होता है. Like as long as it's cold pressed, it's clean, and you like it, it's fine.
Okay.
I have healed people by making them drink sesame oil for months. 3 spoons of sesame oil, and people literally. There's a lady in the UK. She's not in the group right now, but she had her hands like this, right? And over time, they opened up just by
really?
getting a good amount of lubrication in the body. So if you're like Vat dosh, if you study Ayurveda, Kaf, Pit and Vat, जिनको
जी.
Vat dosh होता है, Vat dosh is bloating, gas, IBS, पैरों में दर्द, उनको oil deficiency होती है. For them, every day to have 3-4 spoons of maybe a sesame oil or a groundnut oil or a coconut oil, it helps open up the body. Whereas for Kaf, if you are Kaf dosh, then it is the opposite.
Yeah.
Then you can't have it. Then it's poison. It backfires. And unfortunately, modern science में क्या होता है, जो medical science है, उसमें सब एक है. सबको टैबलेट वही देना है. किसी का क्या दोष है कोई पूछता नहीं. कोई डॉक्टर ये नहीं पूछता रात को नींद आती है नहीं आती, सुबह पेट साफ होता नहीं होता, भूख लगती है नहीं लगती, है ना, दोस्तों के साथ उठते बैठते नहीं हो, हंसते खेलते हो नहीं हो. You need to understand this. If a guy is, to heal a person, if you sleep well or not, if you go to loo every morning or not, that's so important. So that's what it is all about. So please cut down on refined oils. In fact, I'd say ban it. Once in a week or 10 days when you go to a friend's house to a party, तो obviously it'll be refined oil. तो इतना body accept कर लेगी. One meal in a week at a friend or a restaurant made out of refined, the body will accept it. But not every meal. Right? Second thing, just to give you an idea of the world that we live in, this is not against any brand, but you get this in India. You don't get this in the US, right? Real. So real. हाँ तो ये so understand this is the name scam. Real, if you see this here, it says real in the front. In the same box, if you read the back side, it says real fruit powder is only a trademark and does not represent its true nature. Right? So there is nothing real about real, is what I said in the group, right? So these are all man-made shortcuts to try and sell more and more products. And the same holds with when we spoke about ghee, 100% natural organic ghee. पीछे लिखा होगा 100% is just a trademark. Natural is just a trademark. Organic is just a trademark, could be anything. So please be careful of what you see, what you read. More examples, like there's something called this Truly tomato, no added preservatives, right? If you turn on the back side, it's got tons of preservatives and it says Truly is only a brand name and does not represent its true nature, right? So when you go to big stores, big brands, big shows, everything, देखने में लगता है इतना बड़ा स्टोर है, इतनी बढ़िया ब्रांड है, लेकिन पीछे पढ़ के देखो सब नकली है. Everything, right? So make your own ketchup, or if you buy something which is organic, then pick it up. Homemade puree. I don't know whose home they make it in, but it says homemade is only a trademark and does not represent its true nature. Yeah. So it's all fake, right? So be very careful. और बेचारे कई लोग हैं जो कभी एहसास नहीं हो, पूरी जिंदगी उन्होंने गलत चीज खाई है. No one told them and they suffer. So it's good that we are okay and we can avoid all of this. One more ingredient, India में तो है, but in the Dubai, in Gulf, I think it is banned. But in India, everything that you buy, from chocolates to biscuits to chips to pizza doughs, noodles, सब में palm oil होता है. Many parts of the world have banned it. तो इंडिया से आप भुजिया भी मंगाते हो ना, उसमें पीछे पड़ना palm oil है, palmolian oil. It's a good good preservative, but it is purely cancerous. It is saturated fat. It increases the LDL, cholesterol, all kinds of cardiovascular risks. It's packed with calories. पाम ऑयल नहीं खाना चाहिए. इंडिया में अभी भी अलाउड है. आई थिंक यूएस में बैन हो गया होगा. आई बिलीव इट्स नॉट देयर. मोस्ट ऑफ योर प्रोडक्ट्स, द एफडीए हैज बैंड पाम ऑयल, राइट? So
Yeah, hydrogenated oil. That's a new name for it. So on the packages there is hydrogenated.
so basically, so you'll have to be very careful on the kind of oils you use. The objective is that, listen, don't limit yourself only to the 7-8 things I've seen. The idea is to just make ourselves aware, not to be carried away with a big brand or a big celebrity saying something is good for you. It is not good for you. It is all commercial. Everything is all business. Bottom line is all dhanda. And if you're making tons of money, there's a beautiful movie called I think Opioids. It's called Painkillers on Netflix, if you've seen that. And it tells you how the pharma industry is basically selling drugs as in literally opioids, which are banned, selling addictive drugs, managed to get FDA approvals by bribing the shit out of the system. So if there's something, even it's approved by the FDA, it is not necessarily right in its own sense. You'll have to apply your common sense. The example that we gave earlier was ghee. If the raw material is 2,500, how could the final product be less than 1,000 rupees? Right? Apply your own logic. RO water is very important. India में बहुत ज़्यादा problem है. We don't get very clean water. A lot of water that we get, who has an RO at home? Everyone has an RO, I believe, right? So RO is good as long as it reduces the dissolved solids or the impurities. But please set your RO to a TDS of 150 to 200. TDS is total dissolved solids. अब इससे नीचे जब जैसे जाता है TDS 150, इसका मतलब पानी में जो मिनरल्स हैं वो खत्म हो जाते हैं. It becomes dead water. And when you drink dead water, it takes the minerals out of your body. It soaks them out. Right? So it is very dangerous. So always keep your TDS between 150 to 200. Make sure the water is alkaline. It's got a pH of 7 plus. 7 से नीचे acidic होता है, 7 से ऊपर pH होता है. To test these things, you can go to Amazon and simply buy a kit. It costs like 200 rupees or maybe a $2-3 to buy a TDS meter. It's like a stick, like a pen drive. You can buy it from the market and just dip on your water and see कि उसका TDS 150 से ऊपर है नहीं है. TDS 150 is good water. Below 150 is bad water. And you have an alkaline test. You could have all done chemistry in school. You can test whether it's acidic or alkaline and a negative ORP. That's it about the water. And yeah.
Pankaj, hi. This is Ruchita here. I have a question regarding the oil once again. Sorry. I know we shouldn't be frying stuff, but at the same time, like children at home, if they feel like having fries or something, which we make it at home, do you think, mustard oil is a good one to do so, or you think it's all because that's what our question is all the time. And the kids are not, they don't enjoy that mustard oil flavor or whatever. So do you have any suggestions? Have you come across anything like that? If you can just guide me. Thank you.
Yeah, so Ruchita, there is no problem at all. You can fried food is not the problem at all. बच्चों के लिए in fact अच्छा है. थोड़ा तला भुना खाना भी चाहिए. वात दोष के लिए अच्छा होता है. In fact, a lot of people, a friend of mine who's Nikhil Mehta in Pune, he's an Ayurvedic practitioner, very senior. He's healed thousands of people. He recommends people with vat dosh to have pakoras at least 2-3 times a week. Because pakoras mean you get vegetable, you get besan, and you get a decent amount of oil. You can use groundnut oil if you want to use. Try frying in groundnut oil. There is no problem. It won't taste bad. Mustard oil का जो flavor आता है वो groundnut में नहीं आएगा. और आप कभी कभी हफ्ते 10 दिन में रिफाइंड ऑयल फ्राई कर रहे हो चलेगा. इतना भी नहीं है कि पूरा जीरो कर दो. The point I'm making, you can't have refined oil every day, 3 times a day. But once in a week, the body will accept it.
Okay, great. Good to know that. Thank you so much.
But anything in limited quantities, the body will accept. If you're having refined sugar once in 2 days, 3 days, it is okay. If you're having a cake once in a week outside, it's okay, right? If you're eating dinner once in a week, it's fine. If you enjoy drinking, you have 2-3 drinks in a week, it's okay. But if you drink a bottle every day, you'll die, right? You drink, so everything, do it in moderation because you got a life to live.
Wrong, Pankaj.
I'm sorry. No,
Wrong.
I know, Max. Why?
Just kidding.
Yeah, so okay, that's okay. So as long as your body can accept it, it's fine. I know what Rajat said, what he did. I mean, God bless him. He's gifted with the fact that I've known Rajat for the last 25 years. I think Sujit knows X-Star. Rajat is, okay, so I've seen him go through extremes where he used to be an extreme smoker of almost a pack or 2 packs a day. One day he quit and he's absolutely fine, no withdrawal symptoms. That's a humanly blessed body. There were times when he would drink almost like half a bottle or 3/4 of a bottle. And then he went on to juicing for 21 days. And during the juicing, he went cycling for 15-20 kilometers. So each body is different. Each human is different. Some human bodies can take huge amounts of alcohol abuse and still sustain. Some people can't. But the objective is, if it's in moderation, it's good. If it is not in moderation, it's bad. And why do I discourage people from giving up anything completely? Because it tends to rebound. So if you're fond of having that glass of wine once or twice in a week, enjoy it, but do not make it a addiction. Same thing with the pakoras. If you are a vat dosh, pakoda is good. You can have pakodas twice, thrice a week. Refined oil once in a week, not a problem. It's fine. But do not cook regularly on a refined oil. Yeah. Okay. More. Yeah.
What is vat dose?
So I will, once you just join the group, so Ayurveda आप study करना लता, Kaph, Pitta and Vat. Spend some time on the net and then I will do a session. Next week, we are doing it on Vat, Pitta and Kaph, which is basically the 3 constituents, the type of human bodies. Just to give you a glimpse for next week, and you can get more people, what we talk about Ayurveda next week is, there are 5 elements that make up anything on life. Water, earth, fire, wind and space, right? अब ये जो पहले 2 elements हैं, which is earth and water, is called kapha. If you got excess of kaph, that's what is called earth and water. Then pith is the second type, which constitutes of fire, and the third one is wind and space, which is vata dosh, right? So जो vat dosh होते हैं, you will see them slim. They will see them, they won't be on the fat side. They will have a lot of bloating problems, gas problems, temper issues. Then you'll have pith. Pith is the one who are more entrepreneurial in nature. They have huge digestion, huge digestive fires. So these are personality traits and human body traits that Ayurveda has written thousands of years ago. और उसको एक बारी, if you understand that and you know you're a vat, pith or dosh, you will understand your body and you'll know exactly why I like what I like and what is good for me, what is bad for me. So, for example, kapha dosh, people who tend to gain weight easily, are slightly on the chubby side, most of them like spicy food. Okay. Because their earth and water composition is high, they would like to have a green chili with every meal. You will see a lot of personality traits. They'll have less of hair loss. A vata dosh will have a receding hairline at the age of 30. A pitta dosh mostly goes a major receding line the earlier age. So you'll understand that once you do that, but I'll walk you through Vat, Pitta and Kapha next week. But it's very important. The reason I say that is all what we are struggling to do today in modern science over the last 100 years is not even the tip of the iceberg. ये सब आयुर्वेद में हजारों साल पहले लिखा हुआ था कि किसको क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी, सर्दी होगी तो घुटनों में दर्द होगा, गर्मी होगी तो ये होगा, ये सब लिखा हुआ है, सब लिखा हुआ है, एवरीथिंग, एवरी सिंगल एलिमेंट हैज अ सॉल्यूशन व्हिच इज बीन आइडेंटिफाइड देन. Modern science में we've just tried to make it more and more complicated by giving it more names. Arthritis, dermatologist, skin का अलग problem है, इसका अलग doctor है. Whereas in reality there is nothing called dermatologist. There is nothing called a skin problem. You know that? Skin is not a problem. Skin is just an indicator of the inside. If you have anything on your face, any part of the skin, there is nothing that you can do with the skin. It is your intestine, right? And any skin disease can be cured in less than 9 days by simply not eating. Any skin thing. Because if you stop eating, the intestine starts cleaning itself. And in 3 days, you'll start seeing glowing your skin cleaning up, right? So these are all what it is. So I will do Vat, Pitta and Kapha next week. But meanwhile, I urge all of you just to do some Google research on Ayurveda dosha and understand your body type. There are free online tests, right? Just do a free online test, Ayurveda, Kapha, Pitta, Vat, or pata lag jayega. And then you will be very surprised because, oh, wow, I didn't know that. It's already documented. I have this habit of eating sweets. And it already says that being a Vata dosh, you would like to eat sweets. I tend to fall hungry every 2 hours. And it's already written, you're a Pith. So Pith has huge digestion. And every 2 hours, you need to intake food. All that comes. So understand Kapha, Pitta and Vat. It is amazing. It is magical. The powers of Ayurveda. Okay. The last section, I'll just take you. I don't know, not easy to do, but it took me some time. I've got neem trees and all. Please remember that we start a morning with a toothpaste, right? Okay, great. So it's a habit. Got your parents did that. You are doing that. Our parents forced us to brush every time we woke up in the morning and before we sleep. But please understand, toothpastes are all man-made, right? They contain all kinds of chemicals. Something like a propylene glycol, which is used in paints. You see those artificial colors? They're all colors and dyes. It tastes good. It smells good. These are all chemicals, right? Artificial sweeteners, which is saccharin and aspartame. And these are all chemicals to a great extent. Gradually, those of you who can understand that the good thing is you might be cleaning some part of the kachra in the mouth, but if you're absorbing a little bit of toothpaste, it is bad for you. In fact, if you read most toothpaste, it says could be lethal if swallowed by children. So one great thing that you can do is neem. आप try करो, अगर आप नीम कर सकते हो, it is just a mental block where it is assumed that neem is not as cleansing as a toothpaste. But again, 10 days of neem is so beautiful because neem releases the natural, it releases a very nice chemical to completely clean your jaws and your entire tooth structure. And the major problem is not on the teeth. The major chunk of the problem is in the gums. The accumulation happens on the gums. So you need to use your finger and clean your gums. And once you clean your gums, you see the muck coming out. Or usko, if you marry it with neem, one, there will be no odor from the mouth. Two, the moment the neem juice goes inside, it makes you pukish. You will want to spit out. And that spit is all the mucus lying in the body. So I do this with my son ever since he turned 6. Every time he's got a little bit of mucus or cough, I just make him neem a little and he just spits out the muck. And it all comes out and he's like sorted in like quick. So I'm sure you'll have neem or other forms of natural options. Do not go for it immediately. Try to gradually do it. जैसे कभी अभी initially सिर्फ नीम में आपको थोड़ा awkward लगेगा. So after you've brushed, try to do a neem. Then after 2 days, leave the brush, just do the neem. Then do alternate neem and brush and then gradually move to it. But it is going to be exceptionally refreshing. Yes, Sujit.
You're talking about neem leaf of neem's that branches, danda.
Datun, the danda.
We have done that when we used to have a neem tree in our house. So we used to brush with neem or sesame tree stick.
Yes, sesame. So if anyone has any mucus problem where you have balgam hota hai, you have to spit it out and all, 3 days of neem, you will go. your mucus will finish. मॉर्निंग करो, शाम को करो, नीम अंदर जाएगा, म्यूकस बाहर आएगा. 3 days, no antibiotic, no chemical. That's the magic of neem. So please have neems as much as you can. Yeah. So we just quickly recap. All your lentils clean, fruits clean, vegetables clean. Don't eat bread. Don't eat anything that is packaged. And very important thing is this has to happen on a regular basis. आपकी body जो है वो self healing mechanism है. You just have to keep it clean. If you clean it from outside and from inside, you will live 100 years pain free. What are the 4 ways to clean your body? Defecation, which is basically pooping in the morning every day, 100%. I meet people who tell me they go to the loo once in 2-3 days. They don't go every day. Can you believe it? It's amazing.
I'm one of them. I'm one
No,
of them.
no, Shobha. It is very, very, very dangerous. So I will in the next week we'll do Kaf, Pit and Vat. The session after that we will do on defecation. How to make sure that you get 100% evacuation every morning. I've had problems of IBS. I've taken Kayam Churan for about 20 years from 2005 till almost 2017. It's 12, 13 years. But Kayam Churan all are bad. You have to naturally let your body throw out all the waste. अगर आप naturally नहीं कर रहे every day, there is a problem.
Yeah.
There are a lot of problems you must be going through, which you don't need to tell us, but that is happening because of not defecation. Every day you have to poop 100% every morning. The most important task of your day is not your job, is not your business, is to poop. And if you don't poop, you will suffer everywhere else.
Yeah.
100% in the morning every single day. और नहीं होता तो उसके लिए you'll have to look out for different ways to do it. करो, फिर घर में रुको, take some Epsom salt, take some Kayam Churan, take whatever. Abhishek, you'll have to mute, bro.
एक motivational speaker.
Sorry? Sorry? So you'll have to get that sorted, which is pooping 100% every day. I'll walk you through what you do. I put some videos on Instagram on Nature Bright Heroes. उसमें लिखा है 7 ways, शोभा. उसमें मैंने बनाया है, उसमें पूरा लिखा है 7 things that you need to do to make sure you poop. One is a lot of fiber in the body, पवन मुक्त आसन, मल आसन, पानी, कुंजल क्रिया, क्या क्या क्रिया करनी होती है ताकि आपका सिस्टम साफ होना शुरू हो जाए. आप इंस्टाग्राम पे जाना, नेचर ब्राइट.
तो सुजीत ने भेजा था मुझे वो वीडियो. I think 7. What you sent, Sujit?
No, it was just वो मुक्तासन probably.
पवन मुक्त आसन भी है
और
उसमें.
मुक्तासन वाला भेजा था मैंने.
आप पहले कर लो रिसर्च, उसमें आप देखना इंस्टाग्राम में, you'll get more lot of stuff, Shobha, and then I will walk you
She
through
follows
that.
you, by the way. She follows you.
Okay, lovely. So see that, वो बहुत जरूरी है. आप शोभा, if the day you got 100% evacuation every day for 3 days, you will feel 20 years younger.
I know. I'm waiting for that day.
I'll guide you.
I just don't do anything enough. I mean, I'm not ashamed to accept that that I don't do enough to get there. But I want to.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do, Shobha. What we'll do is, I want you to do today, when you get time, do some online research on your body dosha, Kaph, Pitta or Vat. Just do that. Do an online test and drop me a message around this time tomorrow, right? In the morning, and I will walk you one-on-one and I'll guide you how to do it so that by next week you're sorted.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, give me a message on WhatsApp in the morning and then we'll do. But I want you to first find out what your body type is before that.
I think I'm Pitta Kapha, but I'll let you know.
You look cough on your face and all. You're slightly on the heavier side, so it's pit cough.
Pitta also. Pitta.
पित्त होगा तो थोड़ा ब्लोटिंग का भी इशू रहेगा, गैस वैस का. तो वो होगा, वो सब वो मैं बता दूंगा आपको सोल्यूशन क्या है, कैसे करना है. And it will be a ritual that will take about 3 to 4 months to become 100% sorted, but you will start seeing results in 1 week. And धीरे धीरे will increase. So what will happen? Once in a week you'll be okay, then twice, thrice, 4, and after 3-4 months it'll be every day like a party.
Thank you.
Okay. Second, so one is defecation, 100% pooping. Urination. Many people keep holding it. ठीक है, बाद में जाएगा. No boss. Even if you're sitting with your boss's boss or the chairman of your company, you need to go to the washroom, get up and leave and take a pee now when you want to. There is nothing embarrassing about it. You have to urinate in time, every time you need to do it. Respiration. People are not breathing. ये जो breathe कर रहे हैं, this is only 20%. A real breath is when you inhale completely. Complete exhalation. Open up your lungs. That's what pranayam teaches you. Respiration, right? And perspiration बहुत important है. अभी दिल्ली में सर्दी है तो लोगों को पसीना भाई 3-3 महीने हो गए. What nonsense? You have to sweat every day. Your skin is the biggest organ. It has to open up, So defecation, urination, respiration, and perspiration. ये चारों बहुत important है every single day. And once you do every single day, you're sorted with these four. So next to next session, we will do on these four elements. Next session, we're doing on Kapha, Pitta, and Vat. And after that, I'll send a timetable. We'll do on defecation, urination, respiration, perspiration to make sure you're doing all four of these elements every single day. And once you do these four elements every single day, you live completely pain-free for 100 years. क्योंकि जिसका पेट डेली साफ हो रहा है, जिसको पसीना डेली आ रहा है, यूरिन खुद पास कर रहा है और पसीना बहा रहा है, वो योगी बन जाएगा. And if you're a yogi, you're like nidar, and you're confident and you're strong and you're pain-free, and that's all you want. And if you're pain-free and you're nidar and you're strong, you're obviously going to be rich as well, right? Because you have nothing to fear and you have all the strength in the world. So everything follows from here. More important things, make sure you do a lot of sun soaking. We'll keep this on a separate one, but just broadly, it's very important. Pani peena bahut zaruri hai. If you're a kapha body, don't take this literally. This is more on the vat side, but kapha body mein 4 liter pani nahi chahiye. This is more on the vata side. Sun soaking everyone needs. Imagine a plant kept in a room for 3 weeks or 3 days, it'll die. Look at yourself. You haven't been in the sun for how long? Right? And sun doesn't mean just walking in a business suit and, just showing your hands and coming back. Sun soaking literally means exposing your entire body to the sun. Every single organ should get a lot of sunlight, right? Body massages or organic oils and ghees, depending on your body. Salads are very important. Lots of salads to add fiber to your body. Juice fasting, बहुत important. All of you are fully grown up. Anyone who's 30 and above and is not hugely underweight can fast. आज वैसे भी एकादशी है. Right? So fasting is so important. The human body was designed to fast and to feast. पहले हम लोग क्या करते थे, चलते रहते थे, है ना? 4 दिन 2 दिन खाना नहीं मिलता था, फिर मिल जाता था खाना, फिर खूब खा लेते थे, फिर रुक जाते. That's the human body. This breakfast, lunch, dinner, chai, फिर coffee, फिर breakfast, lunch, dinner is lethal. So we'll walk through all of these as we move on, but broadly make sure these 4 elements are taken care of. And just to quickly recap for everyone benefits, if there are any Q&A, we'll start off with the fact that fruits and vegetables all need to be washed. Example हमने धनिया का दिया. धनिया भी जो जितना ज्यादा चमक रहा है वो उतना ज्यादा नकली है. Simple golden rule. जो कम चमक रहा है वो असली है, जो ज्यादा चमक रहा है वो नकली है. Simple rule. Grow your own vegetables or use a cleanser or an ionizer to wash your fruits and vegetables. Again, same thing. जो केला राइट में काले धब्बे वाला अच्छा है, जो ज्यादा चमक रहा है वो नकली है. Waxing, ये 5-star hotels give you these kind of apples which are so glossy. These are all fake. The ones are non-glossy are the real ones. So when you pick the non-glossy ones. But if you get this at home, make sure you peel it off. Milk, dahi, ghee, सब नकली है. Make your own milk, dahi, ghee. Have dahi, ghee. Same thing with meats. Dals, you need to have an ionizer to clean the froth. I'll put this on the group. And breads, please make your own bread or buy your bread from a bakery. If you have to buy it every day, it's okay. Some people have this thing, यार वो पैकेट का ब्रेड एक बार लिया आया, फिर एक हफ्ता भर स्टॉक कर लिया फ्रिज में, बारी बारी कौन जाएगा? अभी तुम डेली फ्रेश ब्रेड खाओगे तो पूरी जिंदगी हॉस्पिटल तो नहीं जाओगे. अब तुम डेली पैकेट का ब्रेड खाओगे, फिर हॉस्पिटल में पछताओगे कि काश मैंने अच्छा खाया होता. So eat bread, but make sure it's fresh. Honey also same thing, good, bad, ugly. Make sure you get real honey sourced from a real place, nothing fake. And refined oils, please cancel with kachi ghani or cold pressed oils, mustard, sesame, and groundnut. Coconut oils, fresh coconut, a lot of ghee. Add that to your diet. If you're a vata, again a precursor for next time. If you are a vata or pitta, ghee is very good for you. Oils are very good for you. If you are a kapha, oils are not good for you. You have to cut down on your oil intake to get the body to stabilize. And when your balance is wrong, it will start showing in any form. IBS, constipation, arthritis. Some people get acne on the skin, right? Skin diseases. These are all imbalances within the body. All different kind of names that medical science is given. But ghum phur ke it's a body imbalance. If you get your body imbalance correct, you are pretty much sorted. Name trim. Don't get carried away by big names and big brands. Don't get carried away. बड़े स्टोर में जाओगे, Costco and big fancy places and big hypermarts and Walmarts and all. They look, wow, they're so big, they must be right. No, everyone is making money out of those. Nothing, right? So real is not real, it's all fake. Same thing holds for Truly. Truly is just a brand name. I've given some examples. not to keep them in isolation, but this holds for everyone. सारे brands का ये हाल है. Everyone is making money. Homemade, nothing is made at home. एंड इंडिया में खासकर पाम ऑयल है अभी, तो प्लीज हर पैकेज चीज इंडिया में पाम ऑयल से बनती है. मत खाओ उसको. पाम ऑयल आपको मिलेगा बाहर शायद ना. यूए दुबई डजंट हैव पाम ऑयल. आई डोंट नो द रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. एंड आरओज वाटर, प्लीज कीप द टीडीएस 150 to 200. गुड टीडीएस, ताकि उसमें टोटल डिजॉल्व सॉलिड्स हो एंड यू हैव लेस टू ईट. टूथपेस्ट, ट्राई एंड ग्रेजुअली एग्जिट टूथपेस्ट. आई एम रिपीटिंग दिस. अगर आपने, इफ यू डू टूथपेस्ट फॉर 10 days, the day you do, if you do neem for 10 days, the day you do a toothpaste, you will feel incomplete. You will want to do the neem. Now, when I travel, I carry my own neem because this hotel's got toothpaste science, it just feels incomplete. And it is so clean with the neem and any natural form. The body should eliminate the waste. Make sure you poop every day, 100%. Urination every day. Good amount of intense breathing and perspiration. बहुत जरूरी है. That's part of the whole thing. And I think that's about it. So we can keep it to Q&As. Anyone has anything to ask?
Pankaj, just one thing. You mentioned ki you had posted something in the group, right? Some videos and stuff like that. But for people like me who joined recently, right? How do I get access to those videos and stuff like that?
We जो videos हैं, I've got Vicky in my team is getting a YouTube channel, is putting them all up there. But अभी सारा उसमें है. Instagram पे आपको मिल जाएगा on
अच्छा.
Nature Bright video.
अच्छा,
All the
Nature
videos.
Bright. Not on your thing. Nature Bright का अलग वो है.
Nature Bright तो मेरा same ही है. I'm putting everything on Nature Bright. I'm just keeping social media under a different brand for the business. But
अच्छा.
everything is moving on Nature Bright. आपको मिल जाएगा सुजीत सब कुछ. और
Okay.
जो नहीं मिलता, just ask on the group. Someone will post it for you.
पक्का पक्का. Thanks for being so patient. Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Anyone, any other questions?
Hey, Pankaj, this is Samudra. I have a quick one for you.
Yeah.
This is regarding water. Now, I did hear about you making a comment that TDS should be between 150 and 200, but I've been doing a lot of reading on water intake. And one of the schools of thought is that the primary purpose of water, there are actually two, as per this school of thought. One is hydration and perspiration, and the second one is to be used for detoxification. And then that school of thought also goes on to say that hence distilled water could be one of the purest forms of water to be consumed. Just wanted to get your views on that.
Correct. So that's a fair point. Distilled water, however, is the purest form of water because there is nothing left in it except for the vapor which is recondensed. But in an ideal case scenario, what they say, water needs to have a certain level of TDS because there are certain amounts of minerals that the body needs. So once it gets distilled, the minerals are gone. Now, if you are going through some kind of an ailment, and God forbid if someone is sitting in a hospital, your digestion is practically nil. At that point, you might as well have a distilled water. But for normal bodily functions, you would rather go with a 150 TDS water.
Okay, understood.
The same logic holds for white rice versus brown rice. Ideal case scenario, you should have brown rice, which got the bran inside it, which is the fat, the covering layer, right? Once you polish off the bran, you get white rice, which is much lighter and easier to digest. Now, if you're not well and you've got a digestion problem, the white rice might be lighter. But for a normal course of action, you should go with the brown rice.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, Samudra. Thank you. It was a very relevant question, though. I think we are done for the day. Next week, so thank you, everyone. I'm going to be sending out a link. I'll ask my colleague to help me out. We will do something on Ayurveda, Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. And we are going to do an interactive session. Meanwhile, people should do their own research and figure out what body types they are. और एक बार आप समझ गए कि आप वात पित्त कफ हो तो आप अपने खुद के डॉक्टर बन सकते हो. Yeah? Anyone
Yeah,
with anything?
Pankaj,
Yeah,
I have a
please.
question, Pankaj. Good morning.
Morning,
How
morning.
are you?
I'm good.
Good,
to see
thank
you.
you. Yeah, same here. So, Pankaj, as I was probably, like I mentioned to you also in a chat, that I have not been able to really decipher the type that I am, the Ayurvedic type that I am. So, in in those ready-made tests, there is one question which says like, how is your pulse? Is it that like of a frog or that of a snake? I really don't know how to answer those questions. So I think I need to really see you since we are quite like neighbors, कब मिलूं आपसे इस बारे में?
आप कभी भी आ जाओ. I'm going to be today. Where do you stay? You're in Noida, only ATS only, right?
I'm in ATS.
ठीक है, तो आप
I'm
drop my
tower 6.
message. I'll be home in the second half around 4-5 p.m. I'll let you know which body type you are. I'll
Absolutely.
set
I'll
you up
see
for
you
a
at
Teams
5ish.
meeting. हाँ
Yeah,
हाँ, I'll
great.
figure it out. No problem. Most
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi,
Yeah.
Pankaj.
Pankaj, I have. Hi,
Hi Sumi, tell me.
Pankaj, you mentioned a few things that honey, have real honey, don't buy the unreal honey, and a few other products like that. You know what actually would help is if you could suggest which honey to buy rather, or where to buy it from. I mean, a lot of people
My
say,
personal,
don't buy, like you said, give away, kachi ghani should be out, buy mustard oil. I mean, I read it all the time. My mom's a doctor. I myself have studied Ayurveda. I'm like three-fourth of a doctor, Ayurveda doctor myself. I know this. But where to get? If we can get that information, that would really be helpful. Just go and buy this honey, buy this mustard oil, buy this groundnut oil, buy this sesame oil. That would be of great help.
yes, so good point. Sumi, मुश्किल है. One,
I know
the simple
that is
rule
where
is
we all are stuck.
the bigger the brand, the more corrupt it is. But
Absolutely.
when it comes to honey, I luckily managed to have someone or the other call me that someone has found a honey comb and they're extracting fresh honey. तो उसमें एक बोतल मेरा भी आ जाता है.
I know. I've been surviving like that for years,
That's the only
since
way to do it.
childhood, if you
That's the
ask
only way to
me.
do it because as humans we are so materialistic. आज मैं भी अगर हनी का बिजनेस शुरू करता हूँ, which I'm giving good honey to the 15-20 of you or the 200 people on the group or 300-400 people, जैसे वो it runs into lakhs, I will go corrupt and I'll start adulterating it, seeing the millions and billions of dollars. That's the truth of life. So you'll have to source everything. So गाय दूध का मिलेगा जहाँ गाय आपने अपनी नजरों से देखी है कि actually there is a cow giving the milk and not something else.
मिल्क का तो मैंने सोल्यूशन ढूंढ लिया. Milk ka to I've managed
Same thing you'll have
to
to do with
find.
honey. It's a tough thing. You'll have to find your own honey. There is no brand
The
which is real. There is no brand in my view.
milk ka to tried and tested. I've got it tested many times. I found one decent supplier, which is Country Delight.
Okay, I don't know. So I won't comment on Country Delight Gen. I don't know. I haven't tested. So if you've
Because मैंने
tested,
उसका I tested it many times, so I
so
found a
let's
very
hope.
good.
So now let's
Uh,
hope it continues to be genuine for how long. And once they scale up,
so
then again
I've
they'll
been
get bad.
doing it for about 3 years, so they've shown consistency. Future में अगर खराब होगा तो देखेंगे.
But I hope the
And
test
the
is not
rest,
being done by Country Delight themselves.
no. I've got it done from
Third party.
what's that? Pusa Lab.
So as long as you're convinced it's pure milk, unadulterated, it's good. Same thing,
Yeah.
Sumi, with the honey. But anyway, if I find some guy with a real honey sourcing, I'll definitely recommend to you guys as well.
Honey, mustard oil. I want mustard oil, almond oil, sesame oil, coconut oil.
Yeah. Done.
If you find any sources, it'll be good if you can share it with us as well.
I've got my man Friday who goes to this local market and he gets it freshly cold pressed and all. So I'll connect him to you.
So is there something like what do you call kolu hota hai na?
Yeah. Hey, Noida Indra market, they make the fresh ones. How they do, I don't know. So I'll have to figure out with my
So
boys.
there is one at INA, but वो वहाँ पे भी mixing कर देते हैं.
तो आप अपना raw material, get your own raw material. No? Stand there and do it.
Wow.
Dedicate your Sundays.
Seriously.
Of course, that's so important. But I'm telling you, that's the better thing to do. Rather than spending 6 months in a hospital in future, spend half an hour every Sunday. Why not do it? You have to go back to the roots, Sumi. You do it yourself or get your driver or your man Friday whom you can trust to stand there and make it happen.
Yeah, with me, it'll become a tamasha. You know that, Pankaj.
Yeah, so anyone can go. That's okay. Get someone else to go. You can trust.
Sumi, if I may suggest to you, recently I had gone to down south, and there is a place Korg you must be aware of. उसके पास ही ना एक जगह है called Mandya. right?
I know
So I was
Kul very well.
yeah, है ना? Everybody knows that. और उसके
Yeah.
पास ना एक जगह है called Mandya, right?
Mandya,
So
yeah.
Mandya, and now that I'm not asking you to go to Mandya, right, right at the outset, let me tell you. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I had gone to their facility where there are bull-driven, they have bull-driven oils. They extract it right in front of your
Yeah, yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
So you could get now another thing,
I
which
think
like they also have their site called Grassroot Organics. I will put the link on the group. And
okay.
I source my oils, all kind of, including safflower oil, which is not sunflower, safflower oil, which is not
Hmm.
easily available. But you get the best oils from there. I'll put it on the group for the benefit of anybody who would like to use that link. It takes time. They also give you the spiced ghee and all, which wonderful. So I source them from there. If going anywhere physically is not an option with you, I'll post it. Maybe you would like to try that out.
That'll be great. I'll definitely want to try it out at least.
Yeah, do that.
Absolutely.
Just
Bye,
caution, don't
Pankaj.
put any brand name or anything on the group because then it gets controversial. So if it's someone
Okay.
really
So
known or something,
shall
you
I
can
put
put
the
one on
link?
one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
One on one, Sumi, in that case.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I have had this
Yeah.
experience of people vouching for a brand, then I've had someone else saying कि नहीं नकली है, कोई बोलता है असली है, so we stay out of it only.
I
But if you're sure
understand
about it,
completely.
please share. Max, you had a question, please.
Yeah. Can you see me as well?
Yeah, we don't need to, but that's okay.
No, I was just
Hello.
showing you I'm in Ajmer. So the clean
Beautiful
air and
background.
the blue skies and everything.
Very nice.
So my question is, which was one of the participants asked before. When you go online and try to do what kind of body type you are, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, वो थोड़ा confusing हो जाता है. I mean, when you're answering, you're not certain. मतलब 3 भी right हो सकता है, 4 भी right हो सकता है. So when you do different kinds of combinations कि एक बार 3 करके देख, तो उससे आपका जो outcome आता है वो बदल के आ जाता है. Like I know my primary, as you have also mentioned, my primary type is kapha.
Tough.
But अब
Yeah.
कफा के साथ विथ भी लग के आ जाता है, कभी सिर्फ
Yeah.
कफा ही आ जाता है.
Yeah.
So
तो तुम्हारा कफा पित है Max. The fact is that you are 100% kapha, which I know, and it's a cuff pit, minor pit. Your major cuff.
नहीं, उसमें उल्टा आ रहा था. उसमें ज्यादा पित वाले आ रहे थे, कफ वाले कम आ रहे थे. That's why so see, because you know me, that's why you can kind of call it out. But अगर कोई normal, जैसे हमारे participants हैं, वो अगर online जाके करते हैं, उसमें could be a variance. So, कोई foolproof तरीका probably होता नहीं होगा. Probably doshas also might be shifting. I mean,
तो
it's
दो
just
चीज होती है, एक होता है विकृति होती है और एक होता है प्रकृति. सो आपकी जो प्रकृति है वो तो कफ है, और जो
हाँ.
विकृति है उसमें पित्त, वो चेंज होता रहता है कभी डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सीजन्स, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द वेदर. बट यू आर
अच्छा.
डेफिनेटली हाई कफ बिकॉज seeing your resilience to a lot of things, it only happens with high cough. You definitely have no vata dosh because वात होता है, वात लोग इतना नहीं कर पाएंगे जितना आप कर लेते हो.
हाँ. ठीक है. All
So
right.
let's do the online test and then we'll do one-on-one. We'll figure out a way how to figure it out. And
ठीक है.
2-3 टेस्ट करो, उसमें आइडिया लग जाएगा अलग अलग क्वेश्चन से, बट you'll have a fair idea of that.
ठीक. All right. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Pleasure chatting up, and we shall connect next week. And I hope you all tend to gain from these sessions.